Hello, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. and I was born July 4th of 1986. Today, I want to talk about a question that came on one of my videos or a comment of how do I get my dog to be able to be comfortable inside the crate? How do I get my dog a good introduction to the crate? How do I even get my dog in the crate to begin with? There's a lot that goes on with making sure that the dogs are cool with the crate. Sometimes I'm going to say the best way is just put them in there. Let them bark for a little bit, let them whine for a little bit. Just shut the door, put them in there, and everything's going to be all right. Most cases, it is that way. But sometimes you get that case where it's just like, my dog is terrified, beyond terrified. And I'm going to say the number one thing that you should really focus 100% of your energy on is making sure that they do everything that's to living, breathing, to stay alive inside of that crate, such as feed them in their crate and give them water in their crate. I wouldn't leave them in the crate and leave a water bowl in there because the dog's stressed out. You're going to have a nice mess to constantly keep on cleaning up. But when you give access to water to that dog, put it in the crate. When you give that food to your dog, you feed them once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, 5 times a day, 6 times a day. Okay, how many times a day? You put the bowl of food in the crate, you shut the crate door, you let them eat their food. And that is one thing that I'm going to say is a start to being able to build a really nice dog in that crate, because one, I don't know what this is, especially if you're in a multiple dog household. I just recommend, I don't care how good they eat together. I don't care how great it's been for the past 20 years of your life. I would individually lock up each of my dogs, give them not only just space, because a lot of times we'll put a dog on the one side of the room and the other side of the room, but I want an actual barrier around at least one of the dogs. So I can put the food in there and put the dog in there and let them realize and look and say, hey, nothing could take my food. This is mine. And one, that gets the dogs to get away from also resourcing, guarding their food, wanting to bite and go crazy over the food. Just let them have it. Give them their food. Put the food in the crate, shut the door, and walk away. Don't look at them. Don't pay them any attention, and don't sit there and stare at them for sure. Don't do anything. Be completely neutral and just allow the dog to eat the food. And then another really good way to get your dog to really enjoy the crate is get you a little cheap one like this right here. These are all that I use. I use these little cheap crates. I get them from the Tractor Supply. This one here is like 60 bucks. The big ones are like 80, 90 bucks. And they are an absolutely amazing tool to be able to help you out with guiding you, being able to do some things inside your household. The dogs that are going crazy at the vacuum, the dogs that are going crazy at the broom, the mop, the crazy at the commercials on the TV. It's nice to just have one of these nearby at all times so that you could be able to guide your dog, to be able to get them to do what you want them to do. And one way that I really like to get a dog to really beyond really enjoy this crate is to give them something that is an absolute extreme value of food for them to eat inside of it randomly, just because. Not because they're doing anything. All we're gonna do is just hang out. So for me, since I have the luxury of, not the luxury, it's hard work doing what I do out here with taking all care of my chickens and take care of my stuff, but I have the luxury of the extras of the animals. So I got a whole bunch of chicken feet here. I got me some chicken. I just get them, I freeze them, and I keep them extra, and I give them to my dogs. You can come get yours. Go home. And I give them chicken feet, turkey necks, turkey neck, turkey feet, turkey drums, turkey wings, chicken thighs, chicken legs, chicken all parts, chicken livers, chicken hearts, chicken lungs, chicken gizzards. I got all this extra stuff laying around always. So for me, it's fairly simple to be able to have as an extra thing. But one thing that I do know that dogs really love is some fresh food, some eggs. I just give them some raw eggs. I give them anything chicken related, these dogs get to be able to have. And the more and more that I keep on giving them that, say, what is a higher grade of food than any kibble, I don't care what kibble you give your dog, that stuff's burnt, people. It's processed to the point that that's why it's the color it is, because it's burnt. It's not fresh in any sort of way. But the more fresh food that you can give your dog, and the more fresh food you can give them inside of the crate, the more that they're gonna just literally hang out in the crate. When it's feeding time for me, they all know. They know, they just know the business of how we walk and how we do. But they go right into that crate and just sit there and just like, what's up, where my food, where my food coming? When I have extra little treats, extra little things like this around, they will just sit in there, hang out, chill, and just like, what you got for me? And then I also notice that a lot of random times that they just will sit in the crate and just sit there and like, maybe something will come if I just sit in here calmly. And I'm like, chances are that might happen. And in the beginning, I would make that happen way more than you even yourself kind of feel comfortable with. Because the one thing that I'm going to say is when you're giving your dogs fresh food, not these weird treats out of the store. There's one treat that I like is the freeze-dried stuff that I'll say is all right. You can kind of overfeed them on because it's kind of a food for them. But majority of all this other stuff is so much filled. You don't want to fatten your dog up. And the one thing I love about fresh, raw foods is it just doesn't really fatten dogs up. they can eat a whole bunch of it. Like I could take one of these chicken feet, and these guys will just sit here, and this is what I do when I'm grilling some food. Oh, you still got yours, girl. When I'm grilling, sitting, cooking, doing what I'm doing outside, I just give me a bag of chicken feet and I just feed it to them. Oreo, go home. Oreo, go home. I just give them a bag of chicken feet and this is just what we do. Where I just constantly keep giving them extra. When I'm cooking, when I'm making my meals in the house and I'm trying to teach my dog what I'm looking for from them, I'd have a crate in there. And every time I'm cooking, I'm trimming off a little extra fat from my food and I don't want it, it goes straight into the crate, straight to the dog. And the dog just sits there and they will sit there pretty, forever, waiting to get some snacks, some fresh food like that, some real food, some fresh, real food. That's why I love creating the dogs to understand a safe place to crate is by giving them, especially my food, my extra things. Not even stuff that I eat cooked, that goes to the pig. Stuff that's still raw that I'm doing my trimmings, I got extra bones, I got extra this, I got extra that. I give it directly to the dogs. And they always just hang out, sit and wait. And they're just like, I'll do whatever you want for that food, man. And whatever you want. Relationships change a lot with food. And that's why sometimes when you have a dog that is extremely disrespectful, that you don't have a great relationship, the treats can go in a bad way. But when things are going all right for you, treats can just amplify, and especially your food that you eat can amplify the dog's existence to just look at you like you are the world's best, greatest, most amazing possible thing on this planet. Like I don't want to go anywhere. I was a little scared today, I'm not gonna lie. This dog here, Johnny Man, I don't know what it is. This is the first time he's ever done. He was gone. I walked the whole property, dude was gone. I walked my neighbor's property, dude was gone. I was like, man, my dude is gone. I was like, how can he be gone considering what it is that I do for him? Not only just the feed and the taking care of giving him this and giving him that and make sure he's mentally worked off every day and got exercise, got everything going. I'm just like, why would this dog leave? And then I come back and I look at him, he's sitting there. I'm just like, not in a cocky way of, I know you ain't going nowhere, buddy. But in reality, you ain't going nowhere. The food that I give you and the stuff that I'm able to do for you, you ain't going nowhere. I don't care who tries to touch you, pick you up, you ain't going nowhere. You're gonna come right back here because this is the place that's gonna keep on giving you what it is that you're looking for, that you're desiring. Mate, you taking no time on that, girl. You can eat it. You good. But something that I just know is you come get Oreo. Go home. That is a way to be able to get your dogs to really be able to be comfortable and be good inside of the crate, is to give them a very, very, very high value food, not no treat. Chicken foot may be a treat, but it's also a food for them. It's a complete food for them to be able to eat. It's got just enough bone, just enough fat, just enough meat, just enough skin, just enough everything for them to be able to eat. And they can eat a whole bunch of them. I'll go through 5 pounds of this in one training lesson just to really get the dogs crazy inspired. And then if you're in that situation where the dog is like, I don't even want to go near that crate. I'm telling you, sometimes the best thing to do is just booty bump them in there. Just go on in, buddy, and put a bowl of food in there and just wait. After a while, the dog's gonna get hungry. And the dog's gonna look at its food, and the dog's gonna say, I wanna eat, and the dog's gonna eat that food. And the dog's gonna start to get comfortable day after day after day. This isn't stuff that, one thing that I need to, I think, make a disclaimer up front with a lot that I'm talking about out here with some dogs. This isn't stuff that you're gonna get to tomorrow. You do this today, and tomorrow you're gonna see a better dog. This is stuff that we do every single day, over and over and over. And the more times we do it, the better off we're gonna be. The less times we do it, the longer it's gonna take. This is stuff that we just constantly keep on working on, and we're gonna constantly keep on getting a better and better and better dog. Something like this is, I'm gonna say, at least a 30-day game plan. In 30 days, I would want my dog to have a completely different relationship with the crate by feeding it just its basic meal every single day inside of it, giving them its water in it every single day over and over again, giving them extra treats inside of it every single day over and over. In 30 days, you're gonna see your dog just look at a crate completely differently. They're gonna run in there willingly all on their own. They're gonna go in there and lay down all on their own. And then especially if you just give them random snacks at random times, any snack, any food, anything that comes out of your hand goes directly to them inside of the crate. Shut the door and let them eat it and let them consume it and let them do what they want to do. The more and more times that you do that, the more that your dog is just gonna hang out and just chill in there and realize like, this thing is a good thing. And they're not gonna wanna go potty in there. It's like it's all in one type situation here. That's why I love me some crates. It's not to leave the dog in there for 24 hours and just ignore them. No, it's to train them and teach them what it is that we're looking for. You don't train them by just leaving them in there. You train them by making sure that you're taking them out to show them what you're looking for and then put them back in there when they're basically not doing what it is that you're looking for. If your dog is pacing around the house too much, it's always on a go in the windows and in this, I'd put them in a crate to say, I don't want you doing that. I actually want you to just lay down and relax. because that's the one thing that the crate is an amazing tool for. It teaches dog that they have no choice but to lay down and relax. That's all you can do in there. That's your only option, is to lay and relax. Or you can come get it. Lay and relax and do nothing. So that's what you're teaching the dog. But you also have to allow the dog to be able to come out to be able to do the things that you don't want to do, so you can guide them on what you want. That's why for me, I don't know what it is that, I use all tools. I use all leashes, I use all collars, I use anything to what I need. But it doesn't mean that I need that every time, in every case, in every scenario. Sometimes I'm just trying to dig one hole and I just get a shovel and I'm good to go. Other times I need to dig 50 and I need to go rent a big heavy piece of equipment to make sure I can get all this done, because there's rock, there's clay, there's just extra that I can't just physically do with my own just basic hands. There's just tools here for a reason, to be able to help us with the scenario that we're in. But for me, the biggest thing is I try everything in my best to not have to do anything with the dog's necks without having to use a leash in any sort of way. I want to be able to communicate without that leash, because that's when, I'm telling you, things get really fun, real exciting, and pretty easy. Because then the dogs are just, man, you ate that fast? Then the dogs are just, they'll listen to you without that need of having to have something tied around their neck. And at the same time, hey, Oreo, go home. When the dog is being told by its neck, it's being, the only way that I can say it, that I just really just know it, is forced. Forced in not a way that is, it just can't never be nice. I understand the reasons and the needs that sometimes, like I said, you have to force the dogs to do some things. You have no choice. When they're scared with something, you have to force the dog to get through that. You can't just allow them to keep doing that and stay in that and be about that. You have to do something to be able to get them to get out of it. And so sometimes that force is there. But as far as like convincing a dog to not steal anything off the counter, not jump on me, not eat my socks, not chew up my shoes, not dig no holes, I don't really want to use force to tell them not to do that, because then you're fighting. And when you start to fight, then you're going to start to have issues. And that's why I love the crate. And that's why I love to be able to use treat. To me is different than I think treat to the most people. When I say treat, I'm talking a real fresh bone. I'm talking fresh food, fresh food, not no little burnt baked biscuit that you're buying out of the store in these big packages that are, the real treats are not cheap. And the cheaper you go with it, the worse off in reality you're potentially going for harming your dog at the end of the day in reality. But you pay a little bit more, you're gonna get a little bit more. Not because you're buying a fancier treat, but because you're buying a fancier, fresh piece of food that the dogs actually really desire way more than any burnt biscuit on this planet. So the main thing is, I like to use something like this to, say, lure my dog to get him into the crate, as opposed to using his collar to force him to get inside of the crate. I'd rather just me get up, stand up, and just say, hey, this is where I want you to go, and I throw that treat in there. And I say, and that dog realizes real fast, he must want me in there. And it's for him to make the decision to go inside, to go ahead and do it on his own. Not so much of me every single time fighting him to get in there, fighting him. Say, hey, I want you to do this, and you gotta grab him, you gotta push him in there every single time. You should only have to do that one time, when the dog goes in there. If you're having to do that over and over and over again, you are doing nothing but just fighting, and you're not gonna be able to get that dog to appreciate that crate. The dog needs to go in it on its own. The dog needs to like make that decision like, okay, if I wanna get fed, if I want food, I gotta go in that thing. If I don't wanna get food, I'm not going in there. That needs to be the very clear rules that are just in place. That's that one simple rule. The dog knows, he's gonna figure it out. And one thing that I know we all understand about dogs is they love to eat. I don't know what's going on with May here playing around with her little chicken bones, but she's on camera right now, so she's acting like a girl. She's doing what girls do, act like I don't be eating like that. You know, I take my time with my food. Like, no, you don't. When you in the front in your little crate in the front area eating your food, if there's a food eating competition, this girl right here is gonna win it every single time. But here she's acting all like she's cute and stuff, and it's just what girls do. But it's something about, they love food. They beg for food. They're just driving you for food all the time. That's why I'm going to say is most of our dogs are very overweight, because they're just so good at getting food from us. And since they're so good at getting food from us, imagine what you could do with being able to train them with being able to get that food by just putting it in their crate. Put it in the crate. Put it in the crate and watch how your dog is going to absolutely just enjoy everything about what it is that you do for them. Enjoy every single time. You bring out food, you're going to watch that dog go right into that crate. You can come get it. I'll go home. Oreo, you can come get another one. Oreo, you gonna keep both in your mouth? hold on, get both. Come on, homie. You can't get it. You be all right. If y'all don't have fun with y'all dogs, something going on. I don't know what it is with me. They really do make me laugh. They terrify me sometimes. I got a little terrified earlier, but they're really, really amazing animals to be able to really explore more about what it is that is beautiful about life. Because there's one thing about them, is they care about you, appreciate you, love you, and just respect you. Just because, in reality. They're just absolutely amazing animals. And the only reason that they get crazy and hostile is because we start to get crazy and hostile with them. But when you're able to just give them what they need, life is so amazing. And a lot of times we're out here struggling with them because we're not able to have that clear communication with them, because we're trying to find that, like, I don't know what it is with us as humans. Now we need this 50 million step process to be able to think that that's going to work now, as opposed to this simple stuff doesn't work. So one thing that I'm going to say that majority, every single people say when I really start working with you is, oh, that was easy. It is. This extra stuff out here that's showing you how to do this and how to this and how to this and how to this and how to this, and then you get to that, it's absolutely maddening. That is not what dogs are all about. That's what we humans are all about. The dogs are so easy. They're so simple. And I can say to you so simply, feed your dog in your crate and you'll watch your dog get better. That's simple. I'm going to guarantee you, and I'm going to promise you that. You feed your dog in a crate. You shut the crate door. You let them eat their food. Day one, you feed them. As soon as they're done, you open the door, let them out, let them do what they do. Day 15, you leave them in there for 15 minutes after they eat their food. Day 30, they're already going to sit in there for 10 minutes. You're going to say, I'm going to get your food ready, get the food bowl ready. They're going to sit in there for 10 minutes before. You put the food bowl in there, you shut the door, and you let them stay in there for an extra 15, 20 minutes. As soon as they're done eating, and let them out. And you're going to notice that every single time that you put that dog in that crate, they're just going to hang out and sit in there. They're just going to chill. They're just going to be. They're not going to be all anxious, not going to be wild, not going to be going crazy. They're just going to start to hang out. If the dog can hang out for 15 minutes in there, it can hang out for 5 hours. And that's something that we should be doing our best of realizing, that this simple stuff, day by day by day by day. Don't try to do no drastic, crazy, weird things in one day thinking it's going to be good to go. Stop with that mindset. Stop thinking that way. Stop worrying about getting my package overnight delivered and I should be fixed and cured right now. It's going to take time. And you're going to look at it and say, today we're here. Tomorrow, I don't want to see what I see today. Not literally tomorrow. 3 months from now, I want to see something completely different than where I am today. But today is just today. I might have a good day, and then just a day of, I don't know what's going on here. Like, why is he literally not going in there and eating his food right now? I put it in there for the past 5 days straight. Why is he rejecting it today? And just follow through. And put that food bowl in there and say, that's it, dude. That's where you eat. That's where you eat. If you don't eat it, we're just not going to eat today. The dog's not going to, something I think a lot of y'all need to know. The dog is not going to kill themselves by starving themselves to death. They're going to eat. You present them food. Now, if you don't present them no food, just because you just don't want to give them food, and yeah, you're starving your dog. But if you present the food and you have a food bowl right there in that crate, for that dog, you eat them both, girl? For that dog to be able to have, and that dog refuses to eat that food that day. Or you got one right there? Yep. And that dog refuses to eat. It is now in that dog's decision to say, I don't want that. Not you forcing them that they're not going to eat. It's a dog's choice. That's where, for me, some people get on about prongs and e-collars and this. I'm more negative towards treats than I am any sort of tool. And that might be weird, but I want to make sure that when it comes down to food, that my dog is never feeling as if it can do something wrong to not eat. I always want to know, my dog to know, that it has the opportunity, the availability to be able to have the food that it wants to be able to eat. I never, ever, ever want to say, oh, you didn't do that right, so now I'm going to withhold this food or withhold this treat. I don't want that to ever be my relationship with my dog, ever, never, zero, period. I always want my dog to know that you're going to get food from me, and when you're hungry, you need some food. When you want a little extra, I'm going to give you some food. I never want to think that they're doing something wrong and then they're not going to get fed. That's where you're going to start to build a horrible relationship with your dog, because then it's not going to know. And especially if you're working dogs, do what you do. Pet dogs. Stop working your pet dog like a working dog with using their kibble, their food, their daily food as training things to get them to do stuff. I'm telling you, you're setting up for a disastrous relationship. Your dog will do for you, but it will do for you with what? With food. Not because it's you, but because of the food that you're giving it to be able to allow it to be able to survive. Give the dogs a basic meal to be able to eat so that they can eat, so they can survive, so they can feel comfortable, so they can feel confident, so they can feel secure, knowing that things are good to go. and then train them with other methods that I'm not gonna give you a treat because you didn't sit properly. I'm not gonna give you a treat because you didn't down properly. I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody has to say. I don't care what nothing has to say out here about that. If you're correcting your dog by withholding food and thinking that that's not a correction over me putting a basic simple slip leash on a dog and giving a little tug on that leash to say, I don't want that, is worse than you taking that food that dog is depending on to be able to eat to survive and be able to live today and saying, oh, you're not gonna have it because you didn't sit right now. You are creating a savage beast inside of your house. And that savage beast is gonna start doing something that my main phone call. My dog is biting me every time I have any sort of food around. I gotta keep everything locked up or my dog will bite me. And yes, I understand that completely because you have trained and primed and created that dog to know that if it doesn't do something right, it's not gonna get fed. So that dog is gonna go into survival mode and it's gonna take from you everything that you have because it's in that level of survival. And it has to do what it has to do because it has to be able to eat. Give the dogs the food to eat and stop thinking that you're gonna train your dog to be better by using its food. I'm telling you, you are destroying your relationship. Just absolutely destroying it. Your dogs don't respect you, don't trust you, don't believe in you, don't have any confidence in you because they don't know what's gonna happen. They don't know everything that's going down. But when you just simply give the dog food in this crate, in this crate, there's only one more. And give them the availability of shutting that door. So I just put her in there and I just shut that door for her and say, girl, that's yours. No one out here could take it from her. I'm gonna say this again, especially multiple dog houses. Multiple dogs, households. Shut the door. She knows these guys can't come take it from her. These guys can't even put no pressure on her to even take it from her. It's hers. It's hers. She has all availability to be able to eat her food and do what she's wanting to do. And that's what's going to make her trust and respect this crate, realizing that everything is safe. And the next step up is allow them to be able to run free while she's locked in here and give her food after food after food so she can eat it. And the other dogs can be right there outside of the crate. And she's gonna look at them, and she may even show teeth and growl at the dog like, hey, that's my food. But she's gonna learn day after day, hey, they actually can't get in here. They can't get in here. And that's gonna reverse the mindset of the dog of, it's scary in here, so I need to bark everything away, to this place is the most safest place on the planet for me, so I just need to hang out and chill in here, and everything is gonna be good to go. They can't get me, they can't mess with me. That's something that is very, very powerful to switch the dog's mindset from. And that happens by allowing them to just eat their food in there. I'm telling you, this stuff working with these dogs is just, it's so simple. It's so simple. But we're out here always trying to just overcomplicate everything because we think that the dogs are I don't know, that complex of some sort of way. They're not. They're so simple. They're simple beings. And the more that we simplify the dog's life, the more simpler you're going to have with the time with your dog. And the more simpler time you have, the more fun that you have, the more freedom you have, the more joy you have, the more just relaxation that you're going to get, the more you're going to be able to just hang out and chill. That's what you're going to get more and more of when you just sit back and just do simple stuff with them. As opposed to all these complicated little things. I need this right treat, I need this right toy, I need this right thing, I need this, no, you need nothing. You need yourself. You need you some good food up front to be able to just get your dog primed to be able to be good to go. And then you just need to just consistently keep hanging out with that and doing that. The simple things every day that we automatically always do anyways. I feed my dog every day. And if you don't, it is what it is. Sometimes I feed them every other day. They get a day of fast a week. But I'll say it like this. You consistently feed your dog because if you don't, the dog would be dead. Simple. You're constantly feeding your dog. You're already having to do it already every day anyways. You're constantly having to give them water, give them a source of water, bring them to a source of water every single day anyways. You have to do that anyways. You have to do something with them when you're just on the go, have to make something happen. You always have to do that every day anyways. Why not add a different step, a different change in what you do every single day with those things that you have to do mandatory every day already to be able to get the dog to be able to get into a better place. And the small things like that is what's going to be able to give you a really, really nice dog. Not trying to do extra training sessions. That's one thing that I'm going to say is I will never come to you to help you with trying to convince you to be a dog trainer. You just want to hang out with your dog. You just want to be able to have fun and peace with your dog. You don't want to train 50 dogs, 100 dogs, 1,000 dogs, 5,000 dogs. You just want to train and hang out with your dog. And that doesn't require you to have to sit here and do top 5,000 reps of sits and downs and heels and stays and this and every single day and set up a 5-hour work schedule every single day to do this stuff to be able to have a great relationship with your dog. Because in reality, doing more and more of that stuff is actually going to make your relationship worse. Because your dog is just gonna be like, dude, why are we doing the same thing over and over again? I'm gonna say this one thing: the more tricks your dogs know, and you can watch the frustration, because you'll present the treat and they'll sit and they don't get it and they're like, oh man, what's wrong? I usually get it for that. Then they down. Oh man, why didn't you get it? I usually get it then. Then they'll sit pretty. Then they'll do a somersault. Then they'll do a twirl, and then they'll play dead, and then they'll roll over, and then they'll just keep going through all these things, and you're still not giving them that treat, and you're just sitting there smiling. And then they finally do this one new random weird thing, and you finally give them that treat. You're not frustrated that dog's gonna have to be at that point. Really, it just did 20 different things, and it's just like, what do you want, person? What do you want? What are you looking for? And the dog is just going, and you're just sitting there like, it's not what I want. It's not what I want. How frustrating must that be to that dog to have to constantly keep on doing that and dealing with that, as opposed to just give me the treat because I'm just cool, I'm awesome, because I'm great, because I'm doing what you want, hanging out and being chill. And again, another times we mistreat our dogs by giving them treats at the wrong time, when they're all excited and jazzed up and you give them a treat. This is the time to give your dog a treat, when they look like how these guys all look right now. Hanging out, chilling, relaxing. If she starts barking and lunging, you don't get no chicken foot. He starts getting all crazy and wild, you don't get no chicken foot. That dude over there don't want to stay in his crate, and when I tell him to keep going home, he ain't gonna get another one. But when he's doing and they're doing what we're looking for, which is being calm, I'm gonna give you 1,000 treats back to back to back. When I see my dog hanging out, laying down in the house, 1,000 treats for you, man. I'll give you a treat every time I see you laying down. It's something that we just don't do, because again, in the dog training world, we're taught to do everything backwards. Get your dog super excited, give them treats to stay in that excited state, and that's how you're gonna be able to train your dog. This just doesn't make no sense. I wanna get my dog to calm down. So when I see my dog calm, I'm gonna say, hey, good job, good boy. That's a calm look that I want. And then we just keep going at that. And then the main thing is, you don't even need to worry about what words that you're gonna use. You know, I can say go home, I can say crate, I can say go home, crate, kennel to all three of these dogs, and they all know what I'm saying, because they know we're going in this thing. Because I'm gonna get some food, I'm gonna get some snacks, I'm gonna get some, don't even worry about the words. Just keep putting the food in there. Keep putting the food in there, and keep doing that over and over and over. Keep feeding them in there. Keep giving them treats in there. Keep giving them their little chew toys, not no plastic ones. I'm talking fresh food, fresh bones, not smoked bones, not cured bones, not none of that, not cooked bones, not none of that. Raw, fresh, natural bones, raw, fresh, real food. You give that to them in their crate, and then that's where you're gonna get day after day after day. Then you can say whatever words you want. Then you can say go home. Then you can say crate. You can say kennel. You can say prison. You can say jail. You can say bed. You can say house. You can say whatever you want. I can say any of those words, and these dogs will all understand what I'm saying. They'll go in it because they know the language of my body, that I'm saying this is what we're doing right now. This is what we're about to make happen right now. And don't worry about the words. The words come later on. Just give it time. I mean, even telling a dog to sit and down and all that, give it time. And so the dogs really, really love it, and then tell them the word that you're looking for. And then you're gonna have the dog that just jazzes up. It's like, oh, home? Cool, I'll go in there, because they know I might get a treat. I might get a toy. I might get a this. I might get a that. I might get something that's gonna be able to be the best thing for me right this moment. And then they're gonna constantly keep on doing over and over and over and over again. And they're never gonna fail, because that's just how we can get into the psychology and the brains of the dogs. It's the same thing as us humans. If every time I came home, there was $1,000, $1,000 bills just sitting on my coffee table, 2 days in a row of that, just 2 days, I'm gonna be excited getting home like, man, another one might show up there. Another little envelope of $100 bills might show up. And the third day it shows up, you're like, that fourth day, I'm like, that fifth day, that sixth day, that seventh day, after a while, you're just gonna look at it like, holy crap, this is amazing. And for most of us, I don't care where you live in the world, if $1,000 bills, $100, $1,000 just shown up, that's a significant amount of money that it's gonna take you a little bit to get like sick of that, you know? It's gonna take a little bit. You get sick of it at some point, like I got enough, or I wish I had more, but it's gonna take months, if not years, for you to get sick of just showing up and just seeing a stack of cash sitting there for you. It's gonna take a little while. And that's what happens to the dogs. It's gonna take a while for it to just fade away, where it's just no longer cool. That they're gonna go in there and be like, oh, there's gonna be a snack in there. And then there is, because we feed our dogs twice a day, every day, all the time, like clockwork. So every day they get that, oh, it's gonna be there. Oh, it's gonna be there. Oh, it's there. Oh, it's there. Oh, it's here. Oh, it's here. A couple of days of that to a couple of weeks to a couple of months, the dog is like, I love it. We're good to go. It's that simple, people. That simple. Something that I would just want everyone to start focusing more of the time on. The simple stuff. Get off the complicated stuff away. Start working on just putting your dog and feeding them in the crate. That's gonna make them be able to have a really, really good relationship with it. Don't do anything more than just giving them food and snacks in there. Don't do anything more. Don't try to play no games with it. Don't try to do no trickery with it. Just feed them, shut the door, walk away. Done. Thank you.